Tracey from Mindless Crafting, and
It's Bill coming into
Bill
the
is
room.
coming into the room. Okay, we actually thought we weren't going to make it, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But I'm going to be making some embellishments, or just prepping some stuff because I want to make a bunch of Mother's Day cards for the Mother's Day Father's Day campaign. And so I thought while we sit and kind of chit chat, we could also I could also work on some cards and knock some of those out because I want to get a bunch of those done way ahead of time. I just want to say thank you to all of you because y'all have been sending in your cards. We've already started getting cards and they've been I'm just like, wow, y'all are on it. So I was like, I need to make some cards too and get, because I have some. I have about maybe about 10 cards, just kind of for Mother's Day. For Mother's Day, I need to make more Father's Day cards. I do have some Father's Day cards in my stash as well, but I just really need to get on it and knock some of those out. So while I'm stamping out stuff, getting ready for this Mother's Day, because before we know it, it'll be here. So I just wanted to make sure that y'all know about the Mother's Day, Father's Day card campaign, handmade cards for our senior citizens. I've got 5 nursing homes already designated to get these cards. We're going to be making cards. Our goal is 1,000 cards. You're going to send in your cards with the envelopes. You're going to write or stamp a message on the inside and just sign it. That's it. It'd be nice to get a handwritten message. If you can't do the handwriting thing, put your initials or whatever you want to do on that inside part, right? But we want to make sure our senior citizens know that we love them and we have not forgotten them. Yeah, so send the cards to Tracey and Bill Phillips, and y'all have been doing it. Mom, Dad card campaign on the envelope, so we know, so it doesn't get mixed in with our regular mail. And then the P.O. Box 2045. It's coming to Mableton, Georgia 30126. The deadline is April 23rd, 2021. And y'all, it's already April.
So how many cards?
We got 3 cards. We have we have we have 23 days left, right? 22 and a half days left to get these cards to us. So yeah. Go ahead and send those in. Send them in. I love it. I think we may have close to about 300 cards so far. Our goal is 1,000. I think that's getting off to a good start because we just started this, maybe a week and a half ago? Maybe a week ago? So yeah. Crystal B. Queen. Ouch. Okay. Can I just say ouch and send you a hug, Crystal?
Ronnie McKenzie says, can I get on that list, Tracey? I seem to get forgotten. What list?
Oh, what list? We don't have a list. These are cards that we're making for nursing homes. People are sending us the cards and we're sending them out to the nursing homes. Look, Deborah. Deborah says, I have 20, not much, but better than nothing. Look, every card counts. Every card that you can send counts. There's someone who's in a nursing home right now and they are just, they may have felt unforgotten. I don't know what the situation is. We need to go ahead and do this.
Judy Toolsy says she has a little over a dozen of them done.
Send them.
Sarah Johnson says her card should be there Monday. Bertha just got her peekaboo stamp set.
Nice.
Deborah Couture is putting her cards in the mail this weekend. Hi, Crystal. Let's see.
Hey, Vicky Paver. She's new. How are you?
Hi, Vicky. It's 2 Vickies
she said,
now.
I'm new, but would love to do this. Well, come on.
We're waiting for you. There's the address. Some people sending 100.
We do have somebody sending 100. If you can only send one, do not put stress on yourself. Just if you can only send one, then that's fine.
That's one human being that is going to be loved on.
Right. So April 23rd may seem early, but it's really not, because what I have to do is I have to sort them out and then ship them out to, there's three local places here. And then there's there's actually two that's going to New York and New Jersey.
Okay. Renee Neighbors, you said put a link to your BIL's channel.
Huh? I'm not sure what that means.
Which one is that?
Well,
is that the Mindless Crafting or?
Let's see. Time is flying, Malaya. Yes. So as they come in, I'm going to sort through them and kind of get them in a little bit more organized, and then I'll package them the best way we can, so that once it does get delivered to those nursing homes, they'll know exactly,
Several people asking, how did you like their card they sent you for your birthday?
I loved it. And I have some that actually...
some that might have to be open.
I had some that came in like yesterday, I believe. I'm still getting cards.
And they're still coming in.
Let's see.
You have Diane Solomon and Linda Huffman asking. Oh, okay. Renee
BIL. Brother-in-law's channel.
I got you.
Oh, okay.
I'll put that up.
The Quilting Marines channel. I was like, BIL, what does that mean? Look, I'm slow, y'all. I'm slow right now. We actually had to, we weren't sure if we were going to make this live, because we had to rush over to my mom's house this morning because she had a leak. Yeah. So that's how our morning started off.
Okay, I just put it in, the Quilting Marine.
That's how our morning started off. I still have my workout shirt on right now. See? This is
unworked out.
Right. I haven't worked out yet because I had to head over to mom's this morning. My sister called me, and once she calls me, what was that? That's like what, 8? No, about 9 o'clock? Maybe 8:30.
If they get a call about their mother, they could be 500 miles away.
Hey.
Mama! They got to walk.
Hey, look.
Hitchhike, crawl, swim, but they're going to get over there, okay? You believe that one.
Exactly. I had to get over to my mother this morning. I was like, what? A leak? And you know what? It's amazing, the picture. When my sister called me, she was like, because she called me early, so I knew. I was like, something's up.
Jessica, I think we did get the packages. Jessica asked if we get 2 packages. We got some stuff. Shannon says she has to learn yoga. I ain't flexible. I understand. So, Shannon, when you reach down to just grab your foot or something, it's just, I can visualize what you're going through.
Look.
Ronnie McKenzie, you saw I put it in there, right? My brother-in-law's channel is the Quilting Marine on YouTube. Shannon's got a face plant. She reaches down.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Round. What's that? Downward facing dog. Please, that gets me every time.
The upward facing dog. You know what I'm saying?
People think yoga is like this easy thing. You got to work your way into that.
Hold on. How many of you have tried to do those? Trace, what do you call the things where you jump down, kick out, do a push up, come back up? I forgot what they call, but
hard. That's what I call it.
I remember doing those in high school, thinking this is so stupid. It doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
If I did 3, that would be miraculous. Yes, Dana, burpees. Yeah, Dana, aren't those things that's like, oh my God. Even Margie knows they're called burpees. Malaya is still safe. Her Dollar Tree is still $1. Don't worry, it's coming.
Okay, so I'm using the flour from the Belief stamp set for my Mother's Day cards.
So that's the Belief stamp set, Linda Huffman. Let me put a link just in case you need to see it.
And I think it's perfect for Mother's Day. So y'all might be thinking of other ideas. Don't be afraid to get out some of your older stamp sets and just start stamping so that you can make some really cute cards. So yeah, I'm just doing the prep work for my Mother's Day. I'm going to use this for the Father's Day, the car. I think that's going to be cute, like a classic. So when my sister called me this morning, y'all, she said she tried to be as calm as possible when she said,
feeling miserably.
I can hear there was concern in her voice. So she said, can y'all get over? Because I told you we live very close to my mother. She said, can y'all head over to Mom's house?
And that's all. As she was saying it, Tracy
right.
put herself on.
Well, I already had my workout clothes on.
She didn't even know why I didn't care. She started heading to the door as she was listening to the rest of it.
Oh my goodness. So what she said was, can you head over to Mom's? There's water leaking in the kitchen. And you know, all I see is my mother. The picture in my head was my mother, like surrounded with all this water.
Standing on the table.
That's the picture in my head. I hadn't even gone over there to assess the situation yet. Okay. So my mother called my sister first. I don't know why she didn't call me first, but that's just whatever. Either way, the message is getting to me. And so me and Bill headed over there. And it was bad, but it wasn't that bad. My mother was in the kitchen wiping up all this water with towels and stuff. And I was like, Mom, let me get this. Okay. We'll do it. You know, Bill, right, Bill, when we got over there. Yeah, but you better believe we're going over to Mom's.
Thank you, Vicky.
In a heartbeat.
Vicky Paver says, I just got your peekaboo stamp set in the mail. I love you guys. I lost my husband 2 years ago and had been depressed. You guys are so encouraging. It has helped me so much.
I'm so glad that you're with us. I'm so glad that y'all are with us. Vicky, I'm so glad that you can join us, that you find a place where you can find some comfort, you know, even if it's just for a little bit, you know.
Alicia Jones says, I'm a newbie, but I've been watching from Baltimore, Maryland. My friend Alicia gave me the heads up. Tracy and Bill, you're both fantastic. Peace and blessings. Sending cards on Monday.
Y'all over here telling friends about us. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm thinking with the card, possibly brown and like almost like a brown bluish kind of thing. I'm not like sure yet, but we'll see what happens. With these, I could basically pick all of my bright colors out and do this one. Let me get a little piece of scrap here that I can just color on. I like to have a little bit of paper that I can just kind of do my little color swatches on. Barbara Lang, get out of the Walmart. Look, Barbara
Lang.
I'm at Walmart looking for some
goodies. They're going to throw Barbara out. Here she come.
Here she come again.
Shelly Taylor says, when is Mindless Crafting at midnight?
I knew that y'all was going to ask that.
We were just
we were talking about it today, actually on the way over to my mother's house. We were talking about that. Let's see. Just pulling out some colors here, y'all.
Marcia Burton says, we are so hard to find. It took her 18 minutes. Just type in Mindless Crafting on YouTube. When you get to YouTube, go to the search box and type in Mindless Crafting. We'll pop right up.
Oh, Wanda Yagla. She said, I'm enjoying making these cards. I lost both my parents years ago, and this is so rewarding for me. God bless you for doing this. I'm so glad. I know so for many it's hard and so I really appreciate that, Wanda. I really appreciate you doing that.
Deborah Couture says, I met a woman the other day when I was assisting a friend and told her about our group. She's supposed to check it out.
Oh, nice.
Hi, Sandra Arrington, Christina Sanchez, Sonia Creole. Margie says, everyone that she knows about you.
So y'all just be talking. They be like, I don't know who them people are.
Marcia Burton says, in reference to Mindless Crafting at midnight, we want it now.
We do have to get our April dates. So I'll get those in order for y'all. We're actually finishing up our business class because Bill and I are taking a business class too. And so, of course, when you take a class, you want to execute some of the things. And even if you can't execute everything, you can do some little things that,
the little things become the big things.
Right, to kind of advance. Otherwise, you'll become overwhelmed. So, yeah. So we're finishing that up. We started that beginning of this month, didn't we, babe?
Yeah.
And so we've been learning a lot.
Hi, Joyce J. Joyce is from the UK.
Hey, Joyce.
JJ.
Glad you're here.
Joyce said, I'll be changing my name.
Look, he over here trying to rename everybody, okay?
Judy Tuesday says, this will be my first Mother's Day since my mom's passing.
Oh.
But I'm inspired for the cards either way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, y'all.
I understand, Judy. Believe me. And you know what? You think that as the years go by that somehow it diminishes. It doesn't. But
yeah,
somehow you manage to kind of deal with it a little differently.
And you know what? I hear y'all voices in my head when y'all say, Tracey, cherish your mom. I always have cherished my mom, but for some reason I hear my Mindless Crafting community's voice in my head of people who said, I lost both my parents, or I lost my mom. That's or my dad. And y'all say, cherish every moment, Tracey. Y'all cherish, y'all make me hear it. I hear it in my head. And I just want to let y'all know that y'all motivate me also as well to kind of keep hearing that voice. Like, nope, if you think you should drop some flowers off at your mom's house randomly, then go do it. Don't sit on and say, oh, I'm just going to wait. Maybe next week. Nope. Let me go ahead and drop flowers off.
Sometimes you can't say wait until tonight. Wait until after lunch.
Right.
I think I'll wait until after lunch and then I'll do it. You may not have to.
Look, lunch. Bill ran into the gas station the other day, right? And he was like, I was like, where you going with all them scratch off tickets? He was like, these are for your mother because she loves her scratch off tickets. So I was like, oh, okay. He was like, I just had a feeling that I needed to do this. She was so happy. She was so happy she got her scratch off. My mother loved her little scratch. She makes a whole thing out of it,
gets her tea ready,
right?
The raisin bread heated, ready to go.
I know, right?
And she gets a quarter. It has to be a quarter. She doesn't like nothing else. It has to be a quarter. Okay?
It's like a whole system.
Quarter too. I think she puts it in the same place.
Right. It's just like these little things that make her happy, and so just hearing those voices when something says you should do it.
Tracey, Benny. Beanie Freaks, Benny is watching. What's up, Benny?
Hey, how are you?
He says, you think you're trying to get something on me, girl? I'm watching too.
Oh, Beanie Freaks. She says, my mom has Alzheimer's and dementia. She is non-vocal now. She used to call me 3 times a day. I so miss that. Yeah, and see, that's why I think it's such a blessing, you just got to cherish your parents because you just don't know, And I never want to be that kid to say, I didn't do right by my mother or.
Or by somebody.
Yeah.
It could be anybody.
And not only that, that's why I think I love this whole thing about doing the Mother's Day, Father's Day campaign because, I just feel like, I know my mother loves to receive cards. I love to receive cards too, but I just feel like, especially during the pandemic, imagining someone in a nursing home with just nobody, no family, maybe for any apparent reason. But
I mean, there's some people
Yeah.
who are going to hear this video right now, even as I speak, that may have a strained relationship with a family member. It doesn't just have to be the mom. It could be a sibling, a cousin, uncle, aunt, or something. And we're determined to not be the one to make the first move or something like that. But I can promise you, if something happens and that person is gone,
God forbid,
as
right?
time goes on, and it won't take much time, you won't even remember what it was you were upset about. All you remember is the good stuff. You remember that you wasted time and you could have had. That's it. Because that bad argument is not the person. That's something that y'all had, but the essence of what you have is that person and the relationship, or at least the opportunity to have the relationship, you know?
Yeah.
So I can't tell you how many times I wish I could go back. Yeah. Like Shannon Dager says, me and my mom just started to really work on our relationship. You know, Shannon, seriously, it's just not too late. You'll think there's no way it can happen. It's just no way. We've just too much water has been spilled under this bridge, but that's not true. There can always be a dam built. The water may not ever go away, but you can build a dam. And like I always say, you may not be able to carpet the entire world, but you can put slippers on your own feet and just make a conscious effort to carefully walk in that relationship.
Or at least try, right?
Right. Kind of really monitor what you're getting ready to say. If you're the one that'll think before you speak, then maybe you need to bite your lip first before you open it and let it out. Because once it's out, it's out. Yeah, I'm glad too, Shannon. A lot of people are saying, Shannon, I'm so happy that you are having the opportunity to work on your relationship. They're talking about their personal experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The one thing, Jennifer Pennell said, the one thing that her husband told her after his dad passed was, I wish I'd known my dad better.
Even when I was in college, other students, other like classmates would ask me, man, you have like such a close relationship with your mother. You know, like almost like as if it was almost like it was like not a common thing. And yeah, we just have always been really close to my mother.
This is interesting. Deb C says, oh yeah, my dad's last two remaining sisters don't speak to each other. I don't know why. I just have to love them separately. He was the eldest of 7 surviving siblings. Deb, here's the thing that's really interesting. Chances are pretty strong they may not even know why. It's just something that they've come to do, and they continue the tradition. It's become a tradition now. He's like the woman with the issue of blood. You know what I'm saying? They talk about it in the Bible. At some point, we don't even know her name. They call about a problem. She's the woman with the issue of blood. You know what I'm saying? So why don't you speak? Oh, we don't speak because we had that's the cousin that we had the argument with. Don't even say her name no more. All I'm saying is accept the healing. It's one step, one day at a time. I'm so happy for you too, Shannon.
Yes.
A lot of people telling Shannon they're happy because her mom had to overcome an addiction. It's not an easy thing because the underlying root of any addiction is a problem that a person felt like they had to anesthetize through the addiction. Yeah. Exactly, Walter Russell. Walter Russell says, at times I don't even know what the argument was about. And you're absolutely correct, Walter. That's just how it works out. Katie's Creation says, this is Andre. I'm loving that sunflower, Tracy.
Thanks. I thought it would be cute to put on a Mother's Day card, just to kind of add a little bit of something in there.
Y'all, I apologize for missing. I'm missing an awful lot of comments. It's scrolling by. I'm doing stuff behind. By the time I look up, things just pass by.
You probably go back. Can I just say these ADAXI markers? Look at the, I got to get y'all closer in here. I got to give y'all a closer look. Look how,
Oh,
look how juicy these markers are. Okay,
you
look
said
at
juicy.
that.
I got hungry for some reason. Just that
Look
quick.
at that. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Malaya Branch says it's your class online. Yes, we're not physically going to nothing. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's an online class. And boy, did we get a lot out of it.
You have several people saying they miss their mom so much. I understand, Marge. And you just wish you could go back somehow. But you can't. But like I always said, someone sent me something and it was so powerful because, I mean, I was really going through it. I might still go through it, but in particular with my brother, with his passing. I've come to grips with my mom and my father because they were older. My mother was very sick with lupus and a bunch of things. My brother, his came suddenly. He's 8 years younger. So that just kind of, I don't know how to get past that one, you know. But, you know, somehow you just get through. You have no choice.
Some days are good and some days you
Some
just,
days,
yeah.
yeah. Some days you find yourself crying, don't even know, you're not even responsible for it. It's that inner man, just, and that you have no control over it. It just is what it is.
Oh, Margie says, I didn't have a good relationship with my dad until after we moved down here. I never felt loved by him. That's a tough one, Margie. Yeah. That was one of the things that I struggled with, um was the fact that my father and I did not have a good relationship. And so yeah, it's one of those things you just try to, like, I used to wonder why, like what was wrong with me. Um because sometimes the child could actually end up blaming themselves. And yeah, so I tried to make amends with him, which was tough. And I think I had to come to realize that I just could not, there was nothing I can do to make him, like to make him like me. And so I just had to leave it alone.
Well, at some point
I had to leave it alone. I tried to be the bigger person and reach out, and that ended in disaster. I can't even go into the details. It was so bad. As an adult now, this was, wanting him to know his grandkids and stuff, even though he just was not a very nice person, still wanting to reach out. But it just never, and he ended up passing away like a year after that.
Well, you try to come to terms with you spend all this time trying to morph yourself into something you think would be acceptable to him, and at some point you have to realize that it's not you. You can only be who you are. I can't change myself or reshape myself to be anything that you can accept because I don't know what it is and I can only be me.
Right. Yeah.
And if who I am is not good enough, I apologize for nothing because this is who I am.
Yep.
I mean, God is the one who made me. So, I mean, should God apologize to you also? Should I apologize? I mean, what should we do about this? It's not my problem. It's yours.
Yeah, but it's hard when you're like the child of that parent.
I know.
Yep.
It is. But you have to, at some point, it just seems so impossible. It just seems impossible, like it can't be. But it's not your problem. Ultimately, it's not your problem.
Oh, thank you, Lorraine. Lorraine says, watching from the UK. She said, new to crafting. I'm loving your videos to give me some ideas in how to make and decorate cards and being creative. Thank you. I love being creative. I'm so glad that you love being creative. I do too.
Here's an interesting comment. Let's dig into this real quick. Katie's Creation is saying, I love your stamp sets, but are you guys going to put out a sentiments only stamp set or word only stamp set?
Yes.
Because I was looking for one and I can't find one that I like. We have several, but it may be...
word only?
Word only.
We have power statements. What's the other one?
Words of hope.
Yeah, power statement, words of hope, and words of... Bill can look it up in his
I'll
store.
find it right quick. I'll look while you look there.
Yeah, so... But we have some other ones, actually, that we're going to be working on. That will work. Actually, those we're working on now. Oh, I think these little dots with the gel pen, y'all. The white gel pen. Look how cute. It's kind of alternating. Makes it look real fun. How fun does that look? Look at that. Okay, so here's the ones that, this is more like a encouragement, words of hope. That's one of the ones that we have. That words of hope. Oh, let me not get it on my, I gotta let my gel pen dry.
And that's the larger 6x8, which gives
This
you a
was not,
larger
this is
focal
actually
point.
not all sentiments, but it has some encouraging words on it. This is the note to self. This is a really popular one. We are going to have an all sentiments one with that one's got a bunch of the one you're working on.
Yeah.
Here's another one that's words to inspire. Is the other one that we have. So that's another one. This will be great for journaling. And then we have the power statements.
And I'm going to tell you why I like these particular stamp sets or sentiments. If you look at the subject matter we're talking about, when you're hurt from what you feel to be from the outside, we don't have a whole lot of control over that. You know, like we were saying, you can't morph yourself into being something else. The only thing you can really do, you can try to work on your relationships with that other person, but primarily, you can only work on yourself. Primarily, you work on the relationships, but work on yourself. And these particular sentiments, they speak about that, about healing yourself, forgiving yourself,
and forgiving the person so they no longer hold you hostage.
Yeah, forgive them,
and so they no longer keep you not only hold you hostage, but keep you in that dark place. That's what I had to do. I had to just say, you know what? In order for me to move forward, I've got to give up whatever that thing is, and with the possibility of knowing that the relationship between me and my father would possibly never be repaired, you know?
Right.
Forgive. And so, I mean,
right.
and I knew that since I was 5 years old that my father, something in me, it just seemed like he just did not like me. And so I had to, in order to be productive and positive in life, I had to give that up. I had to and that's a lot to put on a kid, seriously.
And just imagine at 4 or 5, you knew this somehow without anyone ever having to tell you or you ever having to speak about it. And you knew. A
sentiment stamp set with different fonts would be nice. Oh, that would be good too. Yep. Right. Marcia, you're so right. she's saying to Pam, forgiveness is not for you, not the other, is for you, not for the other person. Yes, because you have to be able to move freely through life. And if you stay in that place, it's going to be difficult to move forward. So it's not, I don't really like to put my father's story out there, like the relationship that we had, but my father was my mother's abuser. He abused my mother. And so growing up in that kind of environment from that's all you ever known, until I was about 17 years old, my mother finally got out of that relationship. But imagine the damage that can do to you. And so what I did was I took that and turned it into being able to motivate. It's always been, even though I was in a dark place, I was able to motivate other people. And so even throughout my childhood, no one really would know unless I was to tell them that happened. They really didn't know what was going on in my household. And so it's a heavy burden to carry, especially when you're like in it. But I had to forgive my father because I did not want to carry that burden on my shoulders. I wanted to be a productive citizen. I wanted to be able to motivate others and be able to give some kind of positivity to others,
Right.
Not to stay in that dark place. You get up and you do not allow that person to imprison you throughout your whole life where you can't even function.
Right.
And that is like a possibility. My situation, by the grace of God, I was able to pull myself out of that. But imagine staying in that and carrying it and then carrying it into another generation, with my, with the kids,
passing it on.
Yeah.
In so many different ways.
And I wanted it to be able to stop right here. It needed to stop like now in this. I could not allow that to now spill over again into another, because
the cycle.
Because hurt people hurt other people.
Right. And chances are very strong. The reason that your father acted the way he did was because of what happened in his childhood.
Yeah.
And so forth,
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting how many of us will pray every day. We may say the Lord's Prayer, whatever, but we may say, when we get to the part, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Done. Well, the moment we said it was done. But the problem becomes that we don't forgive ourselves. He's already done it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, we can't go and step into the other person's body and do that work for them, but we can accept the forgiveness and move forward.
It's for your benefit. I'm telling you, I would not be able. I was so terribly shy, like a fly on the wall. I wanted to shrink into almost nothingness as a kid because I was so shy, because I wanted to do nothing to make my father upset. That is a heavy burden to carry. Everything had to be in place. I was able to clean up a house. You talk about someone cleaning up a house, Bill? Please, that house,
as a small kid,
sparkling, just to not have him upset about anything.
So he would attack your mother or something. Mackenzie says, I know to this day, when I hear yelling, my body responds by starting to shake and her heart pounds in her body, probably because of what she experienced.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like it stays with, it's a work. You work on it, and you just you
have several people making incredible. So y'all are making some serious. Can't even read everything. It's just outstanding.
Look, and I know that we're going to get some people that say, "Well, gosh, y'all talking about this and that," but we're crafters, but we're people. We are people who have a connection, and if something that someone says on this platform is going to help someone else, then by all means, because we're carrying stuff inside of us that is so that's so dark. We're carrying, we're walking around with a heavy burden on us, and I'm just here to tell y'all, let it go, so y'all can be productive throughout your life, so that you can help others.
Right.
You know,
Right. What you start doing is testifying and putting, sometimes you may have to put some of that out there
so you can help others. And
because
sometimes
other people are going through it.
and for years I would never share what I was going through. Everything had to be pure perfection. Pure perfection. Everything had to be pure perfection. So I'm not going to get on here and say, oh, I'm a YouTuber and everything's just perfect and I got this right. And there's more to being Bill than just, creating something beautiful on paper. Now, the nice thing is that even in ugly situations, you can still create beautiful things. But someone is carrying a burden. Someone is carrying a burden right now because of what someone did in their past. Let go. It's time to let it go.
Okay, I'm putting some of the links for these things up since people are asking. I just put up power statements. Now I'm going to words to inspire.
Cardi girl, what Cardi girl just said, she said, how do you forgive someone who doesn't want to be forgiven?
You don't
because she doesn't think that she did anything. That's the thing is, you did your part. You can't control what someone else does. You did the part that you were supposed to do. No, it's all done. You did your part. Don't worry about the other person, because that was my father in a nutshell. He didn't think he did anything wrong. And like the next week, after him and my mom get into a really terrible fight, the next week, he just walk around as if he was a normal human being,
Right. The question isn't how do you forgive them? The question is how do they receive?
And they may never receive it.
Right, but you've given it.
Right. My father absolutely never thought he did anything wrong.
A person can come and say, will you forgive me? I forgive you, but they never receive it.
But I had to let that go.
Yeah.
I had to let him do his thing, and I had to do my thing. Because I could not be productive while being in that, So down the line, I did try to fix the relationship, but it has to be a two-way street, and it wasn't. And I had to know that it wasn't going to be a two-way street.
And be okay with that.
Yeah. Yep.
So those are the things that you have to deal with. I have to be okay with it.
I have to be okay with it because I have to still live my life. I still have to live my life.
I would read, but I'm trying to type this stuff in, y'all. I'm so sorry because y'all are getting off right now.
Y'all are doing some stuff. And I don't want anyone to think that, you're still working your way through it. Y'all are still working your way through it. And so there are things in life that we cannot control. That we just can't control. And so sometimes we have to just leave it where it is, and we need to walk forward in whatever our purpose is. Yep. We have to just walk in our purpose. I have too much to do. God is not done with me yet. And I have too much to do. There's someone on here that needs to hear this message. And only by my testimony, there may be something in my testimony that pulls them out of it. It's something that they're going through right now.
I tell you what, sometimes when you're going through something, you first of all, you can't imagine that you can make it through. I'm gonna tell you that now. You just don't see how you're gonna get through it. But somehow you have to, and you have to just resign yourself to the fact and have acceptance of. I went to the dentist last week. To say that I had a toothache is an absolute understatement, okay? You ever have those kind of toothaches where the pain is so bad that you feel like if you were to get some pliers and just pull it out yourself, the pain of you pulling it out would have to be less than the pain of it staying in? Well, I was pretty much there, okay? And when the dentist was pulling out that tooth, the pain was so bad, I literally had to just put in my mind, you know what? I can have him stop, or I can just bear down, understand that this is getting hurt like a son of a gun. As he's pulling out, it felt like he was Mr. T standing on the chair, reaching down, pulling my tooth out, twisting and carrying on. But I had to just act like I was in another world.
So you're saying that to say you just had to let it go.
I had to let it go. I had to say, you know what? I had complete acceptance that this is getting ready to be painful, but I'm gonna just bear down with it. You know what? At some point, it was over, and then I went home. Pain was a little bit that night, but the next day, as the days went by, the pain was gone. I still remember the toothache, but the pain is gone.
I told him to go earlier, y'all. I did.
She did.
Vicky asked a question. Vicky, yeah, sign the inside of your card. Yeah. Sign the inside of your card for the Mother's Day, Father's Day campaign.
Hold up. This is interesting.
Jessica says it pisses her off when people say you should try to talk to your father.
You know
what? Because they don't know like all the aspects of it. And so that was a tough thing for me. I had to it took me a while to even be comfortable being in the same room as my father. And I mean, it just, that last time that I had seen him, not knowing that he was going to pass away a year later, I had to get to a certain point, because when I think about the past, that can just kind of trigger that thing. And it's like, yeah, so we just never know what the, it's hard, it's tough. And everybody's situation is just so different.
But check this out. But let me say this. Tracey said something earlier. She said, I told Bill to go to the dentist before. And she had been telling me religiously. She says, because if the thing ever hits, the pain is going to, I said, yeah, but I remember the past when I had a tooth pulled. I remember the pain. I just can't go. I made up every reason in the world to not go. But guess what? When that pain hit, I went. I had no choice. And it may not be a good analogy, but I'm saying you have the same thing going on with relationships. We know it's painful. We know that there's no way I could step inside of your experience with your father, with your mother, with your sister, whatever. But at some point, when the time is right and you feel like I'm ready to take on the process of healing and have that conversation, that person, and you tell them I forgive you, and they may tell you to kiss their rear end, and you have to just say, I have complete acceptance because I have forgiven you, and I'm fixing to move on with my life because I did what I was supposed to do. You understand? That's a painful thing, but you did your part.
Yep.
I did my part. Now it's up to you to do whatever you're going to do for you.
And sometimes your part may be just stay away. That may be your part there, just to stay away. You know.
If I don't, I'm going to kill you.
Better stop.
That's the part right there. No, but seriously. Yeah.
The damage that's left on the adult child, is just like, it's just, I don't even have words for it, but the damage that is left on that child to have to function as an adult and someday be a parent,
Well, it's like,
it's a fight.
Remember Catherine Hepburn and on Golden Pond, there's a life we live with, the life we learn with, then there's a life we live after we learn it. And that's what it is. Bertha says, Tracey, are you making cards? Sorry to change the subject.
I'm just making some of the stuff because I know I have to make a lot of the Mother's Day and Father's Day cards. So I'm just kind of here coloring in flowers and just kind of doing the prep work in advance of making cards. I probably won't turn these into cards today, but I want to at least get some of the stuff done so that I can have a bunch of these already, ready to go.
Walter Russell, you're absolutely correct. Let me tell you what Walter said, Tracey. Walter said, If we forgive, it releases us from the bondage of unforgiveness, whether the other person receives it or if they want to continue in hatred or unforgiveness. But ultimately, we are released.
Yep.
And are now free.
And I think I was okay with that years ago, even years before I visited my father. I was okay with it, and I was okay with the outcome after. The outcome of me visiting him for the last time before his death was I was trying to actually tell him how I felt growing up as a teenager and some of the damage, but he didn't have he was so already in he was going to believe whatever he wanted to believe, period. Whether he was my mother's abuser, his thing was she deserved it, which triggered a whole nother thing. Okay.
I could not believe he said
it was
that.
Just so much, Bill was there too.
I was in shock. My mouth was just hung open. I could not believe.
Yeah. And so,
because y'all had nothing but good intentions. Tracey and her sister, they would look, even though they had all this pain, because they had talked about it now, they were really looking forward to having the conversation with their dad and beginning the healing process. And it just didn't turn out like that.
It didn't. it was an absolute disaster, y'all.
He would not accept any part in the... Oh, you think my mother somehow just, abused herself and she put herself on the floor?
Look what Regina said, which is so correct. But you have to be at a place where you can forgive. You're right. Everyone's not at the same place. You're right. It took me a while to get there to a place of forgiveness. But I know I need to get there in order to be praying on some of the other things that I wanted to do. I wanted to inspire other people. I wanted to do so many other things. And with that, I could actually share my story now without crying. I can actually get the story out. But there were times I couldn't even I didn't want to share this with anyone.
Walter says, we need to forgive them even if they are not alive anymore. Otherwise, we would have a bondage in us that we don't know where it comes from. Walter, that's very insightful. How about this, though, y'all? How about when we are the ones that feel that we need forgiveness and that person is no longer here? See, that's a tough one because, people will tell us stuff like, well, you can always just talk to them. They're here. They're not here. Okay? I don't see them like I saw them before. So that's what I go through. But once again, you have to just forgive me. I'm so sorry. And just know that forgiveness is taking place.
And that God knows your heart.
Because you it's like you want them to forgive you. But if you look at the Lord's Prayer, the Lord, when you pray, and it says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So when we're praying, we're saying, God, forgive us our trespasses that I had when I trespassed against this person who's no longer here. And you know what? The moment we say it, done. And now the problem lies with us. Can we accept the forgiveness? It comes right back to that. So, hey. Anyway, I didn't mean to go on that road, but a lot of us are kind of tied up with this thing. When you talk about Mother's Day and Father's Day coming up, it's a lot. I mean, sometimes, there are times when I criticize and wish my mother and my father could be a mother and a father in a particular image that I wanted them to be, but they weren't, completely oblivious to the fact that perhaps I wasn't the kind of child that was in the image that they thought I should have been. What about that? You see what I'm saying? That's a whole nother subject matter. But still comes back to the same thing. You're right. Brooklyn says, I forgave my mom, even if she's still doing or bringing the same mean person to me. You know what? You know how when like in the Bible it says, forgive them for they know not what they do? That's what it is. They know not what they do because what was done to them, and that's the only thing they know to do.
Leslie, what Leslie said.
Exactly, Leslie. Leslie proudly says, if we forgive others, Jesus will forgive us. Bertha says, exactly, Tracy, as long as you do your part.
Got to do my part. Because there are so many people out here that will not, all the God-given gifts that you have in you right now that are never going to make it to the forefront because of something that was done to you in the past or something that someone told you. And
I understand, Jessica.
and so you become held hostage for a lifetime. Yep.
See, this is tough for Jessica, Tracy, because her mother is still married to him. He's still verbally abusive.
That's a
In
tough
the same pattern.
That's the
she
tough
still
part.
sees it.
That is tough.
I've forgiven him, but she still has to see it.
That's tough.
That is real tough.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like my story is different from anyone else's story. Jessica's hers is different from anyone else's too.
Because in your mind, all you think is, I forgive you, right, but take this with you.
Right. Easier said than done, right? Because we're humans.
Now I forgive you again. I mean, that's what's really going through your mind. I mean, but whoo, that's a tough one.
That is tough. I'm praying for you, Jessica. I'm praying for you. Goodness. That is tough.
This is tough.
And I can, yeah, that's a tough one. I have to pray for you and keep you in my prayers, Jessica, because that's tough.
Man.
Praying for anyone that's going through that. It's hard, whether it's a parent or it could be a relative or a child, it could be, just so many things. And this is why I love our group, because it gives us insight. When I say sometimes I feel like I know y'all, even though I never met y'all, because it gives us insight into how, into just so much. We're not just like one particular thing. We're so many different things. And when I think about Jessica and all the beautiful artwork that she creates, all this beautiful artwork just is giving, just so giving, Yes, hugs to Jessica and so many of you who are on here who are just going through some tough times. And I know we like to laugh and hoot and holler on a lot of the lives, but there's times when we just need to say, look, this is what's on my mind right now, and I know someone else can relate to this. And just reach out to support them, because sometimes they can be left by themselves in their own, this is their reality. This is what they deal with. And I'm just glad that we can actually, chit chat about some of these things that are just, like continue to like plague us, continue to be a burden in our lives, something that we're carrying. Bill has left the room. Hey, Brenda, I didn't even see you on here. You said, it took me a long time to realize I was seeking the approval of people that I didn't want to be anything like. I had to let that go too. That abuse was on them. Yep, sometimes you just gotta like cut them loose. Hey, like you just got to, because it can really wreak havoc on your entire world, okay? let's see. My mom didn't believe me when I told her that, oh, her stepdad sexually abused her, sent me to my grandmother's, and she stayed with him for years. Ah, Bonnie Glover. Goodness.
That is tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
See, those are the kind of things that people deal with. And look, but yet, look at the beauty that you all are creating.
The beauty that y'all are creating. The fact that y'all still push through. Y'all are still pushing through. And doing beautiful things, not only for y'all yourselves, but you're creating a life that's beautiful for yourself.
And it's inspiring others.
And you're inspiring others. And you're doing wonderful things for others. And you still continue to say, even though I'm going through this, I'm still going to show up and I'm still going to do the thing that makes me happy.
And by doing, the more happier you make yourself, the happier others are. You're making them.
Diane Solomon, you're so right. You just never know what someone's going through. It might be that one thing that just like pushes them over the edge. It could be the cashier at the store. It could be your neighbor. So sometimes it could be me. Like.
Right. And you'll see that person and you'll think they can't be too rich, too nothing. You'll see that, they got everything. They got that big house, car. They got all this money. They got health.
And that's
you
the
don't know
most unhappiest
what
person
they're going through.
Yep. Can't be happy.
And I've
because
seen
of all the stuff that they're going through, right? All the stuff.
I met a guy, I was telling Tracey about him the other day. The guy was in his 70s, and where we live, there's a park right outside Atlanta called Marietta, Georgia. He lived in Marietta, Georgia. As a kid, he got a job at this little corner store on the street he grew up on, and he cut people's grass also. He did that all his life. He never left that locality. When I talked to him, he said he had never left out of the city of Marietta, and he only had that same job and cut grass for his entire life. He never drove a car. He really didn't catch the bus hardly. He might have one or two times went downtown, but for the most part, he lived his life in like a 4 or 5 block radius. Just as happy as could be. The happiest guy you ever seen in your life. Then I met people who've been everywhere, just as ornery and just as combative and confrontational. Seem like they have it all. I don't understand.
Yep.
Woo, y'all, you know what?
I know.
We are all
absolutely my mind is just blown right now because y'all continue to show such kindness towards one another, and you show kindness towards me and Bill, and y'all are so supportive. And just when I hear about some of the things that y'all do for others, like saying, Tracey, I want to send a stamp set to someone else. Even though you may be struggling, y'all still say, I want to buy something from the store and send something to someone else. Or, hey, y'all, I got happy mail. I want to uplift someone and send them some happy mail. Or I want to drop them a card for their birthday. The wonderful things that still continue to happen, that's going on behind the scenes, right? It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It really is. And it really speaks to the power of God to know that when so many of us have experienced tragedy, it's such death, but yet we're still here. We're still here making an impact. We're changing lives.
Still making an impact,
We're changing lives, whether we believe it or not.
Yep.
If you smiled at somebody today, you changed the life. That's just how it is. Sometimes just getting eye contact when a person has saw that you saw them when they felt like they were all alone and no one knew they existed.
Or they don't feel like they've seen, right? Or they don't feel like anyone sees them. Like even with the guy at the grocery store yesterday who was bagging the groceries. And I can't remember, you look for his badge. Yeah, and you particularly look for his badge. So Bill was looking at his badge. He had bagged the groceries. He was a very quiet young man. And Bill was bagging the guy was bagging the groceries, and Bill looked for his name. I think his name was John.
His name was John.
Yep.
I told each person, one lady was being trained as a cashier. And here's the thing, I try to I take every opportunity to find something good. There's somebody, I don't care, they can be just as ornery and mean as a snake. There's something good about them you can find. And I make sure I comment on it. I told the girl who's being trained, I say, her name was Veronica or something. I said, Veronica, you are doing an excellent job. And
she was slow.
She was so slow.
And that was okay, though.
That's okay. You call things to be not as though they were. Okay?
I mean, some people get huffy and puffy and like, oh.
I said, you're doing an excellent job, and you just started. Ooh, girl, by the next time I come in here.
Right.
Then I told the trainer, you are doing a remarkable job training.
She was smiling. They were all smiling. I don't want someone frowning.
And John,
when you leave, when you walk in a room, the person just drains all the energy out of the room.
And I was trying to find John. John, he saw what I was doing. He turned his chest to me and pointed proudly to his badge. And I said, John, thank you so much for being so careful with my bags and making sure that everything got into my bags. I really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much. Now, how hard was that?
You're doing the thing.
How hard was that?
You're doing the thing that most won't do. And that should actually be the thing that a lot of people do. But you're doing, it's a shame that in this time, everybody's into their own world. And so I try to do the thing that most people won't do, then you have those people that say, well, if it was me, I would have never.
But it's not
Girl, I would have such and such. No, nope,
it's not you.
It's not you. You just you're just too nice to too many people. I would have wrote that person back and I would have said such and such. Well, you know what?
Those might be the only compliments they got all day.
Yep.
Everybody that day, when they even looked at a person's eye, you didn't even have to say nothing. Yet they looked at a person's eyes and could tell that
I see you.
The only thing that person felt for them was disgust. But when they looked at yours, they saw hope and appreciation. And that gave them just what they needed.
Right. They may be struggling at home. We never know what's,
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, I didn't mean to go down that road, y'all, but for some reason, it's just one of those days.
I don't know. It is one of those days,
one of those
isn't it?
days. Well, Brenda said something that was real powerful. Brenda says, I choose, and this is powerful right here, I choose to be a different person. I've said many times, I work too hard to become the person I am, and I will not allow the demons presented in my past to have control of my choices today.
You better tell it.
And it really is a conscious choice.
You better tell it. And it's a struggle. And sometimes you may lapse. Here's what happens if you lapse. Guess what? If you're granted another day, if God gives you another day to walk on this earth, you have a chance to correct it. You have a chance. That's another day to start again. Right? Don't be, that chapter is done. That day is done. Move forward and walk forward in whatever that is. Today, I'm going to say hello to how many people? I'm going to reach out to my neighbor to see if they're okay. I had to think, remember we left some toilet paper at my neighbor's door.
Who had fallen down the stairs.
Right. She had fallen down the stairs and got hurt. And this was such an active woman. She was in her 60s. And
she was always giving something every week.
Such a giving person. And we had left some, we were like, let's pick up some extra for her.
We went to Costco, got a huge thing of toilet paper. It must have had about 24, it was huge, 36 rolls or something.
And she could just not get out anymore. It was just that one little thing has now left her not being able to get out and do things that she wanted to do. And she was such an active person. And oh my goodness, it was just.
This is so powerful right here. Jessica McKenzie Tracy says, she's talking about her dad. He was physically abusive with me. And check this out. And I felt like I was all alone in the world and no one cared because people noticed the bruises. They saw them.
Yep.
And no one reached out to me. Tracy and I were talking about just the other day, one of Martin Luther King's statements, one of the most powerful things that I've ever heard. He says, it was something to the effect of, the ultimate evil is when good men do nothing.
Yeah.
And we can see evils, horrors. We see with our own eyes. We see videos. We see right before us. And we will say nothing. For whatever reason, maybe our peer group. What will my family think if I say that this is wrong?
But with a child, that's just.
I can't break up the family with this.
Yeah, with a child, that's just.
I mean,
Jessica, I'm praying for you.
Exactly.
That's a tough one.
But look at
that is tough. I can't even imagine.
And I think that's why Jessica is so prolific in her expression and her giving.
Her artwork is just so gorgeous and beautiful.
Right.
All the beauty that has come out.
It's a compulsion beyond anything that even she knows. She has to create and she has to give. And that's a form of healing. What's up, Kenneth? How you doing?
You know what? I truly believe that, Bill. That I'm powerless over this thing, but what is it that I can do? And it's that can do thing where you're like, I would have never thought she was going through that.
Exactly. You thought you were going to destroy me in my youth and destroy my dignity. But here's the thing. I heard a minister say this. He said, he who is greatly called is greatly attacked. So oftentimes the attack takes place early in your early years. And now it's up to you to create and give with that gift you've been endowed with to overpower anything that happened in your past with such an abundance that you just smother it out. You drown it. All while you're seeking to accept the forgiveness that's already been given to you. It's tough. Acceptance of forgiveness is tough.
That's a tough one.
Angel said, wasn't Whitney Houston a bigger star than Michael Jackson? I don't think so. But that's a personal thing, but no. Well, that's what I think. That's a personal, yeah.
I agree, Margie. I agree with what you said.
What did Margie say? Yes, Margie says, Jessica, you have so much talent. Your painting is gorgeous. Pam Bell said something so
Barbara
powerful.
Cook.
This is what Pam said, Tracy. She's telling Bonnie Glover, Bonnie, I agree with you. As awful as being raped over and over as a young child and abused, I would go through it all over again if it made me become the person that I am today. Now that's powerful what you said.
That is powerful. And I can actually I can relate to that because I'm happy with the person that I've become. I'm still working on me, but I'm happy about the person that I am. And if it had not been for some of the things that I went through, I wouldn't have been able to get through some of the stuff that I have gone through, challenges that I've gone through as an adult.
Exactly.
Yep.
There are people out there, I'm talking who were famous and very accomplished in their youth and as they grew up to become a young adult or whatever. Maybe they were famous athletes or entertainers or whatever, and they got in a terrible accident or something, and their life changed forever. Maybe they were never able to walk again or whatever. And do you know what's really interesting? I've read so many comments, so many stories and seen different videos. What they did later on after that made far more of an impact than anything they ever did.
Yes.
When they were an athlete or an entertainer.
That was it, because that was their true purpose.
Look at Michael J. Fox.
That was the purpose.
Michael J. Fox, you know, I love me some Michael J. Fox, okay? But Michael J. Fox has impacted far more people in his disease now than he's ever impacted while he was an actor. As hard as that is to believe. I mean, he tickled us when we saw him on the screen, but he changed lives.
Impact.
Afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I laughed and I felt good when I saw him, but I tell you what, when people saw how he handled Parkinson's and what he had to do and how he showed that I can still be me.
And the foundations.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Seinfeld says, yes, Heat Wave, the main singer. See, people that apparently they went through some stuff.
Okay, y'all.
Even Brian was talking about stuff that he was not. A lot of times people, when they think about physical abuse, they always think about women, you know, or whatever. But Brian is saying my dad had been physically abusive to me as well when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
There were times a few years ago that he had hit me to the ground and stole his phone, all kind of stuff. But anyway, Brian and the authorities did nothing. Police, nothing. So this is something Brian has to deal with. It's
tough, yeah. See, and that's why I love our crafty family, because I know we have so many things that we have to deal with sometimes. And sometimes you just have to say, you know what? And I know it's like, you know, being on a such a large platform like YouTube and sharing your story can come with some kind of backlash. But here's my thing. I need to tell my testimony, right? I need to tell my story and share my truth with so many of you, because that's what I'm supposed to do. That could be the connection that we have, where you say, you know what, I can relate to Tracey and Bill. This is why I keep coming back to their channel. I'm not saying that, talking about my issue with my father for views. I'm talking about my issue because I know that there's someone on here that can relate to it. And there's someone here that's hurting right now dealing with this. So it doesn't matter what the naysayers say. It matters that I need to get this message out to someone, somewhere, who's hurting right now, who's sitting in their pain right now. And there's someone who's saying, you know what, if Tracey could get through this, then I know that I can get through it too. Because look what happened with her. Look how she turned her pain around and was able to do something wonderful in the life of someone else. This is where inspiration comes in. This is where perseverance comes in. And this is where motivation comes in.
Right, and not just Tracey, and look at, and also with the rest of you in the group sharing. Look what Bonnie Glover did. Look what Jessa McKenzie did. Look what Pam Bell said.
Right, and and the thing is, we can.
Walter Russell said.
We can still come together, y'all, and we can still laugh. We can still come together. We can still laugh, and we can still have fun, even though we're going through stuff. We still choose to come together. We still show up. When y'all come on these lives with us Tuesdays and Thursdays, y'all are still showing up. Even though y'all are dealing with life issues, you're still showing up. So I want to thank you for continuing to show up, continuing to share with each other, continuing to be kind. Because there's someone trying to steal away your kindness, make you bottled up where you don't share anything with anybody. And so you just live in your pain and your darkness for years. But here's the thing. You have to sometimes choose to be the light. Even when it feels like there's darkness all around you, you still go ahead and you fight to continue to be the light, because you are worthy and you're valuable and you're a child of God. You're a child of God. And so you still need to go ahead and just be you. Continue to be your authentic self. And yes, some days we may lose it. And some days we may not be patient, but we're only human.
Tracy Bryan says these live streams are one of the reasons I keep going in life. Right. And you know what? It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. I'm looking at some of the comments. Oh my God, how can I make it through life? What can I do? I don't think I can make it today. Then you go and go and read what Leslie Pratley says. Leslie says, I draw butterflies with a black fine liner.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Look at this right here. Let me go. Oh, I just saw it. Jessica says, I paint whenever, that makes me happy.
Yep. Do what makes you happy. And don't let anyone say that, oh, you're always in there crafting. You're always coloring. This is what makes me happy. And for right now, this is what I need to do because it makes me happy. Oh, Bill and Trace, you're always coming on live and such and such. Y'all
we are.
You're always laughing.
Yes,
you're
we are.
always doing this.
And we're gonna come on tomorrow and laugh tomorrow.
And we're gonna laugh tomorrow. Matter of fact, we're gonna fall out laughing.
And if you don't like it, we encourage you to go to another channel.
It's okay.
Where you can be happy with someone who does not laugh.
How could someone tell you you're laughing too much?
We're not apologizing for laughing. We want you. We want you. I wish I could find a channel for you to go to, because one of my biggest hopes is for you to be happy.
Be happy.
And going to another channel will do that for you by all means, please.
Be happy. But we're also real people going through stuff. And so when I tell y'all, when Bill and I went to the Coin Star years ago, before we had any business, I think we were still on YouTube though, right? Yeah, we were still on YouTube. Like this was years ago. We were going, when I said to y'all, who remembers going to the Coin Star? Who knows what Coin Star is?
Just about everybody in here.
Right. Coin Star is when you cash in those coins. I have to be real with you. I need y'all to know who Tracy and Bill is, and that we've been through some stuff too. And I know that there's someone on here too who's been through some stuff too. Who's had a sick child, who's been homeless, just like we've been. I know there's someone on who's been hungry, someone's going through that right now. There's someone that's going through it now, and we just don't know. There's people in the group that's going through it. There's people who have written me behind the scenes of the pain that they're going through. And when they write me some of their stories, I'm just like, oh my goodness, Bill, I would have never known.
Right.
Or just bring me to tears. Y'all are sending us happy mail.
Oh, hold up. Let me tell them. Okay, I give examples. Sometimes it may be put in your heart to do something that you don't know how you're going to do it. Tracy had a friend that she was working with. Remember Donna, right, Trace? And she was taking care of her sister's
goodness,
who were going through a terrible. Her sister was unable to take care of them because her sister wasn't able to take care of the kids. Okay, fine. So Donna said, I don't have the money. I really don't have the space. I don't hear all the reasons why I can't do it, but come on, let me have them kids.
She was actually taking care of her friend's kids. Yeah, it was her friend's
kids.
She
called Tracy and talked about it, and she called Tracy up and said, Tracy, do you think maybe you could just lend me $5 so I can get some gas for my for the car?
I remember that.
I need some gas for, and I'll pay you back on Friday. Hold up, wait a minute. It's Monday. $5 where she lives? By the next day or two, she'd be out of gas.
Right. I was thinking.
So I said, Tracy,
she actually followed me.
Have enough gas to get to the gas station on such and such street? She said, yes, I do. So I tell her we'll meet her there. When we got there, I put $50 in that car. And she's like, "Oh my God, 50! I never paid that." I said, "No. I said, "Don't you worry about paying me back." I said, "This is an investment in those kids. I want to make sure you can get back and forth to work and the kids and this and that and think about it for a second. You you'll think that what you're just being blessed for something about your car, but this goes into the kids now.
Yeah.
Because
so
you're being obedient at another level. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to just act on something, not quite knowing how it's going to work out, knowing that somewhere down the line, other people are being led to meet you at the next destination down the road that has nothing to do with destination A. They're already planning to go to destination D. So that's all I'm saying.
And the thing is, she's such a giving person. This woman will give you the shirt off her back. And when she came and told me that, I was so like, wait a minute. This is the person who'll give the shirt off her back to someone. And she's struggling. And so, yeah, you just never know what someone's going through.
And here's a real kicker. About 2 days later, might have been the next day, remember I got that check in the mail from the government for $500?
You sure did. Yep.
For something that happened to my father about 18 months before. I didn't fill out no paperwork. Yep. I didn't do no documentation.
I remember that.
I don't even know how they got my address, okay? And I got a check from the government because of something with my father who had passed 2 or 3 years in the past.
Yep.
He'd been long gone. It's like somehow and we needed that money because the power
we were struggling.
We didn't even have the money.
Well, we were struggling. Yep. But you know what? It's amazing that even when you're struggling, even in our struggle, we continue to give. That's always been us. In a nutshell, we just still. It's just the way it is. I believe and I have faith that. It's going to come back to me tenfold.
Look at Crystal Knapp says, I remember when my kids were little, I picked up cans and sold them so we could have hot dogs.
Look, you better tell it.
Exactly.
You better tell it. That's survival mode.
Ketchup sandwiches.
That's survival mode. I'm telling you. That's some survival mode right there. You by any means necessary, you'll make it happen. And sometimes you just have to hold on another day. Just hold on. I got through this day. So we may have to go to the Coinstar today, but next week,
hold up.
I'm praying that my situation will be better. But guess what? I'm going to still continue to give.
We were at Kroger last week, and we kind of parked near the end, okay, for some reason. We like walking like that. And this older gentleman drove up. He looked like he was about in his 80s.
Yes.
He was driving this old truck, and he was like, you could tell he didn't want to ask us.
Yes.
He did not want to ask us. You could tell this. He said, excuse me.
He sure did.
He said, I hate to ask y'all this, but.
He sure did. It took everything in him.
He was like, but. Y'all have $1 or something? I need to put some gas in my truck. I'm trying to. I said, sir, you don't need to explain anything. I said, hold on, let me see. I said,
he said he was trying to get to work.
Yeah, and I said, Tracey, what do we have? I didn't have nothing on me.
I usually keep cash on me.
And Tracey had.
And the reason why I keep cash is for that purpose. I actually, you know what? I actually had some cash on me. Because some people gave me some birthday money.
You know what happened? Someone in this group.
They gave me some birthday money.
This group. I don't know who it was.
Someone gave me some birthday money.
And Tracey took $10.
If y'all gave me that birthday money.
And the birthday money, we took $10 and gave it to him. And when he looked at me, when he held his hand, he looked at my face, and I could see his eyes. He was trying everything to hold it in. And I said, sir, don't even worry about it. I said, God bless you here, man. Just go ahead and do what you have to do. And he kind of just took it and said, thank you. You know how it was difficult for him to really, truly embrace thank you, but he said thank you, and he went right to the Kroger gas.
What Paula K just said, Paula K expressions, that's exactly what I live by. Because my thing is, she said, I've heard people say that they don't give money because they don't want them to buy alcohol or tobacco. I feel give what I can. If they don't use it for its intention, that's between them and God. Exactly. Because I don't want to start thinking about later on. I can't overthink it. Guess what this man did though? He drove right over to that Kroger gas station.
Straight to it.
He drove right to the pump. Right. Drove right to the pump. Okay. So if you feel it in your heart, is a reason why you're feeling it in your heart to give. There's a reason for that.
We dismiss it and say,
right.
What will so and so think if who cares what they think?
Right. Nope. We can sit and talk about all the what ifs.
Vicky Jensen says that footprints in the sand poem is so true. When I look back at my life and I see so many times where Jesus was carrying me.
Yep.
Pam Bell says she stripped wire and sold the copper.
Please.
You see what I'm saying?
You know what? Y'all got books inside of you.
You know what? And that's
y'all have some books and some motivational stories. You remember those? What's those stories that used to come out? Y'all, what are the name of the? Chicken Soup for the Soul. Those stories, I love those books because they were stories of hope and giving. Oh my goodness! Look at
Brenda Baldwin said
look
she
at Pam Bell did. Look at Pam Bell just.
Pam Bell. Brenda Baldwin said she did pop cans for groceries. And you know what? Here's the one thing I love about Brenda Baldwin. Brenda has seen both sides of the fence. Okay. There have been times I've heard stories from Brenda when she was very, very poor, just did not have it. And she went through the struggle. She understands it. And then there are times that Brenda Baldwin's like, well, she did extremely well financially. And you know what? She didn't rest on her laurels or sit on them. She paid it forward. She paid it right there in real time the best way she could. You know, helping children, helping families, helping the net, whatever she could do. And that's all she could do. You know, and she didn't have to tell nobody. She didn't, until we pried it out of her, you know what I'm saying? But that's all I'm saying, and all of us, it may not seem like much. All I have is this can of beans. Well, I ain't got nothing. So thank you. That can of beans, that's like a ribeye dinner right about now.
Right. Bill will tell you when we would coupon and we would give away so much stuff.
We gave away so much stuff out. One time I got mad at Tracey.
Bill would get mad at me because we would coupon. So we would have
you're giving it away, but
5 and 6 of something. And I would give away so if we had 6 or 10 of something, I would give away 8. Bill.
Crazy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, especially now people struggling, now is the time to be even more giving.
Oh man, Wanda Joggle is telling something good. Let me go back and read this.
Now is the time to be even more giving. People are going through it. People don't even have gas to put in their car. It's just, I've worked in places where I have had coworkers who didn't even have gas to get home. They got to work, didn't have gas. And I would be like, look, follow me after work.
Tracey was talking about somebody who slept in the car outside.
That was at the library.
At the library, because they just said, well, I'm here.
She was a positive woman, though. She was so positive.
Wanda Yagla says, we were coming home from visiting my parents. We stopped for gas, and there was this family broke down and had a sign asking for money. So my husband gave them some, right? But what really made my heart melt was that my 4 daughters gave them all the money they had left for survivors to this family. And we still had about 10 hours before we got home. Look at this right there. But you know what? See, this is what you pass out to your children.
The kids are watching.
Your kids don't know how to do nothing that they don't see you do. Look at that family in distress. I sure wish I knew what to do. Well, you know what? When I was with my mom and my daddy gave them some money. You know that? I saw that. And you know what I'm finna do? I'm finna do the same thing my daddy did.
Yeah. It just makes us feel that we're not alone in the world. Oh my goodness. Jessica, another $10 to pay it forward.
Allison.
Y'all are just like, y'all look.
Alicia Jones, Tracy said, as an
Y'all,
educator.
see, this is what I'm talking about, though. See, now y'all are giving super chats, right? This is the kind of, look at all the encouraging words, the super chats, all of the motivation, all of the people sending prayers to one another. It's just blows my mind. And I wish that the world itself can get a peek into our community.
Oh, Tracy.
You know, I just,
whew.
yeah.
And a lot of times we'll think, but I don't have no money. Look at what Alicia Jones says, Tracy. Alicia says, as an educator and a singer, I fell on hard times, and I used my lunch period along with my planning time, and I sing at weekly funerals at a church a block away from my school.
Oh my goodness!
Because I have to use all of the gifts that God has given me. Can you imagine that what do you realize what you have given? You've given something that there's no monetary value that can be attached to what you're giving, Alicia. Because when you're going through the stress and when that loved one is there,
someone is there to
see. When you're singing, you have to understand you're there. You have the anointing on you to break yokes and to heal and to feel those spots. That's what you're doing as a singer. A lot of times people think I'm there to display my talents.
She showed up regardless. She showed up regardless.
You're there to heal.
Because she could have been in her own, your own world, even with your stuff, things not being the way they need to be in your own world. You still showed up. And that's the biggest thing right there, is still showing up.
You gave what you had.
Even though.
But what you had was enough. What you had was enough. There are people who heard your song that years later are still being healed from it. The healing is still in them.
Look at Paula K. Paula, really?
Oh, thank you, Paula.
For those you help on your way in life.
Exactly, Leslie. Leslie says God brings people into our lives to bless us. We might not know them, but they help greatly.
Yes.
But that's why they were sent. I mean, some watered, some planted.
Oh my goodness.
Some harvested. Kenneth, how you doing? I saw you in here. I didn't mean to ignore you. Whenever Ken comes in, I know he's trying to sneak away from.
Kenneth, we having real talk today. Real crafty talk. I thought I was just gonna come on here and color some flowers in. I thought I was just gonna color some flowers and some cars, and I'm good. Y'all are throwing me for a whole nother loop. And I have to tell you, when I see this even motivates me to do more. I don't know if anyone else is feeling the same way, but this motivates me to Trace, you have so much more in you.
And for the two people that are giving the thumbs down, if you're still here, I just want you to know that you think that you're here because of the crafting, but you were sent here because there's something in you that needs to be healed. Yep. Or perhaps you need to accept forgiveness for something that has nothing to do with this. And I want you to be free from any encumbrances to just go ahead and accept that. And I look forward to seeing you on the next live where you can go ahead and give us a thumbs down again.
Well, maybe give us a thumbs up.
Either way, it doesn't hurt us one way or the other. But I want you to be able to receive what it is that you came here today for.
Yeah, the hate is not going to stop us. The hate is not going to make me hateful.
I pray in Jesus' name.
The unkindness is going to make me continue to be kind. Did y'all hear me? The unkindness is going to teach me to be kinder, right? So when someone is unkind to me, I'm not going to carry that. That's on you. I'm going to just go ahead and be kinder to whoever, you know what I'm saying? So the mean-spirited comments that we get that come our way, it's okay. It's okay. I'm right where I need to be. I'm right. I'm going to still show up.
Barbara Bubbles.
As long as God allows me to show up, I'm going to continue to show up.
Barbara says, once I seen a man on the street corner wanting money. He was carrying a sign that said, "Why lie? I need a beer."
See, he just put it all out there, huh?
Jasmine Javier says, I believe that, Bill. There's a reason why I found your channel. God put you guys in my path through this way.
You know, we thought that this channel was going to be all about crafting when we first started it. And it just, you know, as we started revealing who we are, you know, just saying, you know what? It became a platform where we just said, you know what, we need to just put it out there. You know, this is who we are. We go through stuff. We have challenges.
We said,
you know, but we love people.
We'll say, we oftentimes will say, we pray that we can be our complete, authentic selves, the people that we are today, to reach the exact audience that we've been sent to reach.
Yeah.
Not try to become the thing that we think some imaginary audience wants us to be.
Right.
Because that's not who we were sent to reach.
Right.
We were sent to share with you.
Yeah, people will tell you who you're supposed to be.
You being whoever hears this, whether you give us a thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever, whoever hears this was sent here, okay, today. Or on the day that they hear this. Yeah. So hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying.
Oh, is that silly? Sorry, Michelle. Love you, Tracey.
Michelle's name.
We love you too.
Oh, thank you, Sarah Johnson.
This video's in God's hands. It really is.
Sarah Johnson just super chatted us. Thank you.
Oh, Sarah. Look at Sarah. Look at Sarah. Y'all are the best, you know? I never knew that when we started this journey on YouTube that it would be anything. It has gone far beyond my expectations. And I'm just so glad. I always tell you, I feel so fortunate and so blessed and truly honored to be on this journey with y'all. You know? Hopefully I won't have to grab the tissue because y'all are over here trying to make me cry. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but when my voice gets like this, it's because I'm just overjoyed and overwhelmed. Paula. Oh, Paula K, you want to know what Stamp says? Actually, this sentiment is from the Mother's Day. So now I'm going to just kind of stamp out a bunch of Mother's Day sentiments. And I'm using for the car I used Never Too Old. Okay, so I'm going to do these. Are going to be some Father's Day cards that I need to make also for our campaign. And I'm using, where did my other stamps say? Oh, Mother's Day. And then for the flower, we got caught up in our conversation. I forgot to tell y'all what I was using.
You know what I'm saying?
For the flower, I'm using the Belief. This is the Belief stamp set. Look how cute that came out. I'm really liking these with the polka dots. That looks so fun. So if you wanted to, let me just show you something real quick. Let me cover this up.
Thank you,
Let me show you this real quick.
Oh, Paula K, I read something Paula said way back, but thank you anyway.
Paula K, you're sweet.
Beanie Freak says, I've been holding back the tears this time.
Look, we laugh, we cry. It's like being a family, you know?
What? Jacqueline Johnson says, I am glad you're here because other channels have been taken down. That's a shame, Jacqueline Jackson, I'm sorry. Thank you, Pam Bell.
So now if you have like a lighter flower and you want to put something else on it and make it fun, you could actually go ahead and put little dots on here too.
Nikki Antevero says, I wasn't going to watch today. Something kept pulling at me to watch. I'm glad I did.
Oh, I'm glad you did too. I'm glad. This was really inspiring. I think when I get off of here, I'm going to feel, it's going to be like this feeling of just complete joy in our hearts that we were able to connect and hopefully inspire others, someone who might be going through a tough time right now. I'm going to pray for y'all because, yeah, y'all just got me just choked up today.
Trapani says something powerful. Trapani says, my mom has a struggle being appreciated by my grandpa. So I told her that it's okay if he does see you or whatever, because God sees you and knows your
God
value.
knows your heart, yep, and He knows your value.
And I got this thought from watching your videos. You know what? Sometimes we want to be appreciated and loved by a very specific person, and we become blinded and oblivious to all of the people just thronged around us whose lives we touch immeasurably. Grandchildren, children, there's neighbors, friends, church members who with almost with tears in their eyes when they think of you, sometimes a tear rolls down their face, thinking, "Ooh, grandma was so good. She sure was good." And if grandpa wanted to act a fool and don't see grandma, don't worry about it. Everybody else saw her. You cannot be everything to everybody.
Nope.
Even if it's the one you want to be the one for the most, sometimes that's just how it is.
Yep. I think when we first met, one of the most powerful things you said to me, because I had already shared with Bill some of the things I had been through with my father. And so this is what Bill says to me. He says, for all the hugs, because he couldn't believe that I can't remember ever being hugged by my father. And Bill said to me, for all the hugs that your father never gave me, I'm going to hug you. For all the hugs that he never gave you. Do you remember that, babe?
I do.
Yep. Yep. I was like, oh, this is my husband right there.
She said, I do.
I do.
Nikki Del Bosque says, I just started paper crafting again after 10 years away from it. I'm a crocheter.
Nice.
I found your page by looking for ways to incorporate crochet as ephemera. Thank you for all of your videos.
Oh.
Nikki, Tracy's mom is a prolific crocheter.
Yes, she crochets.
She can crochet. When I tell
My
you,
mother had stuff leaking on the floor this morning, but she was like, come see this blanket I made. My mother.
She got so many. She make them so fast.
She was like, Mom. She was like, come see this blanket. I was like, Mom, we trying to clean the floor up. Come see this blanket I made.
Thank you. Bertha says, I always feel so good after our lives.
I do too.
Thank
Seriously.
you, Linda Chappatel, for that super chat.
Me and Bill, we not only do we feel good after the lives, but we also we'll talk about, did you see what's her name said on the live? Oh my goodness, that was powerful. Or that was too funny. You know, like all the different things. I mean, sometimes we've gone back and watched our lives and we'll
see things we didn't even comment on.
Fall out hilariously over some stuff.
Hold up, look at this right here. Pam Bell, Tracy says, yes, it's been healing for me. I am waiting on results that will determine if I will live.
Oh,
I wasn't going to mention that, but I felt it in my soul.
Pam's going through some stuff.
I will get the results today or tomorrow.
Pam, let me know because,
we are here.
I read.
Pam. We'll lift you up in prayer.
Pam sent me a message, and I'm telling you, Pam, y'all pray for Pam. Yeah, our sister Pam is going through some stuff. Linda said, I wish my mom could find her happy place. Yeah, my mother, she loves doing this. Certain things that my mother loves, and I have to nourish that and encourage that and be a part of that, the thing that she loves to do. If she wants to crochet her heart out every single day, then by golly, and eat her what's her popsicles that she loves, babe?
I forgot what they're called, but
we keep her stocked up with her favorite popsicles. It's those the ones with the
little Johnnies or something. The little brown cows.
Mayfields, the little brown cow. Right. And her little minty candies. That's what she loves. That's what my mom loves. And so that we make sure that she has the things that she loves.
Linda.
Brenda Bodwin, she is an incredible, when I tell you someone who has persevered through struggles in life, my mom is like that picture right there. That picture.
Hold up. Tracy's mom wrote this book, right? And I gave the book to one of my friends' girlfriends.
Oh, yeah.
And she cried so viciously at some of the things that my mother-in-law was going through, were going through in her life, that my friend had to call me up on the phone so my mother-in-law could talk to her and tell her that everything was going to be okay.
Oh, yeah. She was in tears. I mean, she couldn't even compose herself.
Yes.
Yeah, she was.
Because you talk about the abuse from a young child, almost literally being almost sold into slavery at a time when slavery didn't exist, and somehow having escape as a 9-year-old girl across a large body of water.
My mother had a tough life.
This is some crazy stuff. Y'all don't understand.
My mother had a tough life, but if you ever meet her, you'll be like, oh my goodness.
Oh, bye down to Saturday. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
My mother's such a positive and encouraging person. Even with all of the stuff that she has gone through.
Thank you. That was powerful what you said, Sonia Creel. Sonia Creel saying, Pam, in the name of our Lord Jesus, I ask you to place your loving hands on our sister on this day. In Christ's dearest name. That was powerful.
Thank y'all for that.
Hi, Kathleen German.
If y'all just getting on here, we're getting ready to get off, but talk about a powerful live, okay? A live that has impact. This was something else. I can't even tell y'all how grateful and thankful I am for y'all and for y'all sharing your story. It's not easy. Sharing your story on a public platform. It's just not, you know, and being under the what do you call it? A magnifying glass all the time is tough. However,
there are people who are going to read this. There are people who are going to read this somewhere down the line as it goes through cyberspace, and you are going to change their lives forever.
Yeah, something
with
your
you testimonies,
said.
Of our collective testimonies and stories.
Something you said on here.
So thank you for your transparency.
Pam Bell, you're not alone. I just need you to know that you're not alone. Look what Shirley Alexander just said. She said, Pam Bell, please don't feel so alone. We're all here for you. Yes, we are connected. Okay? And I might not be able to respond to everybody's message, but when y'all send me a message or email, I do read it. Sometimes I can't respond to every message because sometimes it is somewhat emotional. And so I have to give myself time to respond sometimes. And sometimes it's just so many messages. It's just overwhelming sometimes. But I have to tell you, I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Don't allow anyone to stop you from your God-given purpose. Don't allow anyone to take your God-given gifts from you.
Exactly, Pam. Pam, I'm just compelled. I'm compelled right there at this moment. Jesus never fails. Jesus, he never fails. Oh, heaven and earth, it may fade away, but Jesus, He never fails. Just remember that, Pam. He never fails.
Yep. Just something for y'all to hold on to, because I
He
know so
never
many of y'all
fails.
are going through stuff, you know. Bill, they're saying, sing it, Bill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we think he do, but he don't.
Margie said, grateful for you and Bill. We're grateful for you too, Margie. Grateful for each and every one of y'all. So with that said, look, don't forget to get those cards out, because we're going to bless someone. We're going to bless people with our crafting, right?
Exactly.
No matter what's going on right now in the world, we can still do positive things. And this Mother's Day and Father's Day challenge, which I just felt in my heart that there was something that we needed to do. And so we're going to go ahead and do this. We can do 1,000 cards, y'all. We can do 1,000 cards. And so I just want y'all to know.
Don't worry about the whole 1,000. Just worry about one.
Just worry about the one, right? You don't have to do 1,000. One together, right? Mm-hmm. Together, we're going to do this. And if we miss the goal, that's okay. Because we actually can still, somebody's still going to receive a card. Wanda's going to send hers on Monday. Awesome. And many of y'all, thank you to those of you. We're actually going to have to go to the post office today to do a pickup, because I'm pretty sure that there's more cards in there today. We've gotten quite a few. I'm thinking we're close to 250, possibly 300 right now. Malaya says she's fired up. Malaya, I'm fired up too.
Malaya.
I'm just like overjoyed, because sometimes you have something on your chest that you need to say. And so I feel like I've been able to just say it and just like release it and not feel encumbered to say, well, just shy away from saying it. No, someone needs to hear this today. Someone needs to hear it today. Yeah.
Oh, maybe on the next one, can we show some of the cards? Maybe on the next
one.
one.
We can do that. If y'all would like to see some of the cards so that y'all can be encouraged, I think that's a good thing. We showed, when we did the mic on the bike, we showed a lot of the cards. We didn't realize how many we were going to get.
Pam is telling them basically.
Christine Sanchez says, I am fired up too. She says she's fired up. She said, my cards are coming soon.
Brenda says, hold the address, the actual address part close to the screen. That's what some of them can't see. And for those that can't read this, Pam Bell is saying that what she's experiencing is that her lungs were damaged by exposure to mold, and she developed a lung disease, and the doctor feels that it may be terminal, and that she will suffocate due to the disease.
Oh my goodness.
That's what the doctor's saying, okay?
Sonia Krill, thank you so much for sharing the address. And I'll put the address in the description. I'll put the address in the description. So I don't even know what my cards are going to look like, y'all. But I knew I wanted a flower, I wanted a car, and I want a happy Mother's Day and happy Father's Day. So I'm working right now with just that right now. All the other stuff will fall into place. It's just like life. It'll fall into place. Okay, well, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get off this live.
All right, we're off.
Y'all take care and have a blessed day, and continue to walk in your purpose. Continue to be of value, because you have value. God did not put you on this earth for nothing. You have a purpose. Yep.
Exactly, Paula K. I stopped short of saying that, but I'll say it since Paula said it. She says, but what does the Lord say? He says it's up to him.
Yep. There you go.
That's what Paula K. That's exactly what he said.
So y'all take care. Bye.
Bye.